I wanted to share this. It's the first time I've actually had the stove in my tent. And it's an old 1980s tent. And I've just basically duct taped some tarp to flap over it. It used to have a poly tarp over the front of the door and the back window. And also a poly tarp floor that was rotted out. So right now, this here is the first time this is ever burnt. You can see that it's starting to smoke right where I've got to burn it all off and such, but it's smoking right where that label is. But it's a pretty big stove. Close it up a little bit, and I'll show you what I have, how I have it set up. But it's the old 1980s woods tent. This is an 8x8 woods tent. A weekender. So, right now, what I have is a stovepipe coming right out through here, and I have that closed off. So I'm going to be sleeping down on the floor, the ground anyway. So right up there, yes, heat's going to escape, but it's not going to be that cold anyhow. As you can see, it was and it is drafting rather well. Now I've got that on a chain and run a paracord across there just to hold that up, so it's not actually touching underneath. I've got about an inch or so underneath there, but this is what I've got for the night. And this is the first time actually setting it up, so I wanted to share. What do you think, Chris?
I think it's cool. I think you're blinding me with your light. How am I doing here?
Yeah, we're blinding each other with the light. But there we go. And it's been pouring. Totally everything soaked out here. Cut some dead standing. I brought the axe actually to split some up. But pretty cool. So this is what that stove looks like. It's about 18-20 inches high. Nice little oval. Chris is all set up on his side. I'm on mine. We've got, you know, 1.5 feet between us and the stove, but we don't have to have it pumping. Right now I just turned it down, and she's just smoldering there now, but you can see it's being sucked right out by the stovepipe, so we have a nice draft. So this is my view right now. Chris is getting ready, taking his boots off and such. We've got a bunch of firewood here, right in the middle. She's nice and toasty. I'm actually just in a t-shirt right now. I had to air it out a couple times just because this is a new stove, never been used, and it has to burn off the, you know, paint and such. Pretty cool. Well, we're in the weekender. It's black in here right now. It's a stove. Nice and toasty in here right now. Good morning. So, it's a pretty nice night last night. This tent without the bottom in it, I have air gaps around the edges, and we knew that. It ended up duct tape does not tape to canvas very well, but it was a quick thing. We just wanted to get this out here and try it out. But I know what I've got to do now. I've got to sew some canvas over top of those openings and such, because this is going to be a winter type shelter. I won't be using this in the summer. So
The stove has worked really well last night. We do have a breeze, like I said, coming in from underneath the tent, but it's still been toasty. It was -2 last night, and we were toasty in here. It was pretty nice.
So this here is the woods tent, and you can see there what it had is a poly tarp that was right straight across, and it just came down over the screen. This one here is made in Canada. Poly tarp I taped on last night, that covered that, and that was fine. But this is the way that was all night. It was wide open like that, but it was still warm in there. We were getting the radiation heat from the stove. Of course, the tent was, you know, most of the, you know, a lot of the heat's going out through, but you set up, it was warm in there still. So it still worked. But I know what I have to do. I'm going to have to sew something on there. The duct tape didn't work, but as a test and to learn what's going to work best for this, this is a very successful camp out. Thanks again for watching, and it's going to be a fun project.